We have a couple of folks up here on the stage with us. Some of you may know Miss Mary Hunter Johnston, a senior at Jackson Academy, and also Miss Sandra McKay, who teaches upper school English at JA as well. So we're glad you guys are here. We wanted to meet a movie star, a real-life movie star, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first, you're a member of the Accents, of course.
Yes.
You're a captain.
Yes, sir.
Or is that called co-captain? Or are there three captains?
Officer.
Officer. See, I knew I'd get that wrong. So you got to tell me, how long did you guys work on that dance?
Well, we learned it in the summer, and we learned kind of like a rough draft of the dance. And a few weeks ago, the man who made up the dance, Carlos Stokes, he came back and we worked 6 hours on it. And then ever since then, we've just worked on it tons. And last week we had a lot of practice just getting ready for Friday night.
Yeah, it showed, that's for sure. What was your favorite part of that dance?
My favorite part is the Fergie part of the dance. It's like the danciest part. It's fun.
The walking over the end of it, I don't know who came up with that. I mean, there's always something new in one of those dances when Haley's involved, I feel like. So what was it like? First off, we got to talk about the book, Same Different Kind of Me. So for those of you who don't know, she's in a movie. And so tell us a little bit about the book and how you got interested.
Well, I heard about this book actually from my mom, then the movie process came about, and I decided to read it, and it is one of my favorite books, like all-time favorite books.
So of the book, what part did you like the most?
Well, there's not like a specific part, just like the whole book is very inspirational, and so overall it's just a great story.
So if you had to say, you know, you got to kind of talk to the little kids, especially those two sitting right there on the front row. Yeah, those two, those are mine. So what kind of message does it give, and what does it teach when you see it?
When I read it, it just really taught me that giving back to others is just a great thing, and it holds so many blessings when you give back to others. So.
I think your dad's more excited about the movie than anybody else.
Yes, he's very excited.
So you played an extra in the movie. What
Yes.
kind of role was that?
I played the role of a little girl, and it was a homeless little girl, and my part was to act frightened. So.
So how did you practice acting frightened?
Well,
Did your dad scare you ever?
No, he didn't. But it kind of just came, like when the scene happened and when I was actually in the process of filming it, it just came naturally. It was a scary scene.
So you've seen movies, obviously, before you got into a movie. What was it like being on the set of a movie?
It was really fun. It was really cool to see how much work actually goes into the process of making a film.
Now, has this inspired you to want to do any more films, or is this one and done?
No, I think it would be a lot of fun to do another film. It was a really neat experience.
All right, your favorite class at JA, what is it?
My favorite class is either AP Literature with Mr. Dixon or AP Psychology with Mr. Summerall. AP,
that's two letters that never, unfortunately, ever saw me at any school. So your interest in literature, where did that come from?
Ever since I was little, I love to read, and it's just developed throughout the years and throughout my English classes. I've really just loved to learn how to read and learn about literature and all the different people and philosophies that make it up.
All right, the individual to your right is pretty special, obviously, Miss McKay. What's been fun about being in her class?
I loved Miss McKay's class. It was one of my favorite English classes. Just like the classroom environment, and she's a great teacher. One of my favorite teachers. All
right, Miss McKay, as we kind of shift over to you for a minute, how different has teaching been for you throughout? Started off with books, and now we're in a paperless classroom all of a sudden.
We are in a paperless classroom when it's appropriate to be paperless. We read a lot. My textbook is now an iBook, which I created a year or so ago. I found out that most of the literature that I teach is in the public domain, so it's free for the taking. So Mr. Weddick taught me how to create an iBook, so I went out in the world and got it and put it together, and the students tell me that they really like it. I can publish it on Haiku. I can put it where they can go out and download it. They don't need the web to get to it once it's downloaded. They can make notes in it. They can highlight. So it seems like it's been very successful. We read on the computer, we write on the computer, we research on the computer. So most of what we do now is on the computer, except when we don't. And when we don't is when it's time to read a novel. And of course, no one wants to read a novel on the computer. So we still do give paperbacks for that.
What was the novel this year? Or what is the novel that you normally get into? Some of the novels you guys read?
In my class, in American Lit, we read 5 novels. We read The Scarlet Letter, we read Huckleberry Finn, we read The Great Gatsby, A Farewell to Arms, and As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner.
So which one of those is your favorite?
The kids love The Great Gatsby the most, so I suppose that makes it my favorite, but I'm a Faulkner fan.
I was a big Huckleberry Finn fan.
Yeah.
I found myself in that role often in life. So when you talk about your own textbook, I mean, how has technology for you changed the classroom?
I think it's easier for the students to stay organized. I can publish all my keynotes, all my notes, study guides, all that sort of thing on the computer. They can download them. They can organize them the way they want to. It's easier for me. They can submit things to me, and I can see it and give them immediate feedback. We research and write the whole research paper on Noodle Tools. Remember that? And I can watch the process as it happens. Hopefully, correct any issues that are going on that I can fix. So, it's really made, I think, teaching and learning easier and more effective.
What are some of the goals of the English department at JA?
Well, of course, we want to create students just like Mary Hunter. We want students that are thoughtful readers and writers, students that can communicate effectively using all the good rules of writing. We want to create students that appreciate literature like she does. We, of course, encourage the reading of classics. We want to create students that are prepared for college. And my students, the graduates that come back to visit, I always ask them, how are your English classes? And they always tell me they feel very prepared, that they feel like they've experienced everything, certainly in their freshman and sophomore years. So they feel like they're prepared.
How has JA been on the front lines as far as being the leaders in technology, but also being the leaders in the transition to that paperless classroom and the desks that join together and just kind of the progression of that?
It has certainly made collaboration easier to do. The desks move easily. The students can talk to each other easily. I can move around more easily and get to every student. So I think it's been very easy. It's been we've had a wonderful process. Thanks to Mr. Weddick, who's led us through the process very smoothly. It's gone very well.
So how many folks do you think are going to go watch the movie? A bunch, right?
I know I am. I can't wait for it to come out. Is it February? Yes. There we go.
February 3rd, for those of you who couldn't hear her. February 3rd is when the movie comes out. And so we encourage you to go check that out, of course. It is, again, I got to get the whole title right. Same Kind of Different as Me. That's a lot of words in not a normal order.